Welcome to another edition of From the Bleachers Sports Show. This is me, your buddy old pal Tom, and we're doing a video. We want to chat today about NWA Powerrr. Just a couple of things that I wanted to go over, give you my thoughts, my opinions, and I welcome your thoughts and opinions down below in the comment section. Please subscribe if you haven't done so. Click that notification bell, and I promise I'm semi-entertaining, right? I think. And looking at NWA Powerrr, did I like this episode as much as the prior episodes? If I'm grading it, I probably give it, a 6 out of 10, maybe like a 5.5, 6 out of 10. I mean, it wasn't great. It wasn't bad. It was just, just there for me. And, that's all right. Not every episode is going to hit it out of the park. It was still entertaining. So, maybe 5.5 to a 6 for me overall in in this week's episode. A couple of things that I liked, a couple of things that I didn't like. The first thing really that kind of, kind of bothered me. Not bothered me, but just kind of was like, this is kind of weird, or I don't get this. It involved the Crockett Cup. Right in that segment, you had Eli Drake, James Storm on commentary in a matchup between, the Bouncers and the Dawsons. Happy about the Dawsons that they've been getting repackaged. Big fan of the Dawsons. Didn't like the first couple of episodes, recent episodes, how they've looked on TV. I mentioned it before, after they started off on such a high. But anyway, Eddie Kingston's team, the Bouncers, they win. And then, they go over by the commentary booth where the Crockett Cup is, and there's, James Storm, and there is Eli Drake. And they're all drinking from the Crockett Cup. They're all drinking from the Crockett Cup. The Crockett Cup, the same cup that is prestigious to the NWA. The same cup that you're basing your whole pay-per-view around. The Crockett Cup, the same cup where numerous of legends have competed for it. Sure, Ric Flair has competed for the Crockett Cup, I'm sure. Harley Race has competed for the Crockett Cup, I'm sure. Numerous legends competed for the Crockett Cup. Competed for the Crockett Cup. Where they, put on hour matches. Blood, sweat, and tears to win the Crockett Cup. The prized possession of the NWA. The Crockett Cup that means so much to wrestling history. And you use it as a drinking prop where you're drinking out of that cup. Like you're having drinking games, as if you're, in a frat, drinking from the Crockett cup. Now, it's one thing to be drinking from that cup as you're celebrating, if you're drinking from that cup after celebrating victory, you've put your blood, your sweat, and your tears to win that cup. And there you are. You finally won it. And you're just letting all your emotions out. Kind of like in hockey, for example, when a team wins the Stanley Cup, going through the playoffs, through numerous teams that they have to get by. Sometimes it's, 7 games before they could advance into another round. And then there they are. They finally win the Stanley Cup. Blood, sweat, and tears, injuries. You've worked your whole childhood to get to that point. And then you finally accomplished it. You've won the Stanley Cup. I could see drinking from it as a celebratory kind of gesture. But if you're using that Crockett cup as just a prop for a drinking competition, not okay in my book. Thumbs down on that. And I don't know what exactly was the point of that segment, that ending there. Just me. I didn't, I did not like the Trevor Murdoch question mark segment. I mean, again, and I'm going to tell you, it's the little things that matter. They matter to me. Here's the thing. There comes a point in that promo where he says everyone knows, if Harley Race were to, and this is nitpicking, okay? If Harley Race were to look at Aaron Stevens, almost insinuating that he would be disgusted. Well, here's the thing. It's about victories, wins, and losses, and Aaron Stevens has been getting wins. Trevor Murdoch has been getting the losses. So, who would, knowing a Harley Race, who would he be shaking his head at more? Would it be Trevor Murdoch, or would it be Aaron Stevens? Would it be on Trevor Murdoch? Would he be happy that Trevor Murdoch, at the end of the day, is suffering losses? Would he be upset by that? Or would he say, you know what? Trevor Murdoch is trying. He's trying. I'm happy with that. Do you think a Harley Race would care about trying, or would he be concerned about wins and losses and the final number? But put that aside. Even if we overlook that, and I know sometimes we got to stop nitpicking, suspension of disbelief. How come? There's a point also in that promo that Trevor Murdoch says, I swear, he's like, I swear to God, I can't take it anymore. And out comes the question mark. And there goes question mark. Maybe as the announcers said it, doing the Mongrovian national anthem, there he is, the question mark. It's really just not even talking words, just moaning grunts, and I get it, that's part of his character, But Mr. Oh, I'm so upset, I can't take it anymore. What does he do? He doesn't do anything. He just looks at him. If you're so mad, Trevor Murdoch, why aren't you slapping him around? Why don't you just give him a big old pop? You know, it's like sometimes when you see in wrestling, right? And these people are, going back and forth on their promo, and they're saying how much they hate each other, can't wait to get their hands on one another. And then when the match starts, the first move that they do is one of these like stupid moves where they lock up. That's their first move, instead of someone just punching someone in the mouth. First thing they do is they lock up. To me, that just doesn't make sense. You go through all that effort saying, oh my God, I can't take it anymore, and then you don't do anything. What I did like from this episode, things are explained. I like that. Things are explained, and you kind of, and these things are planned out. They pay attention to detail, to I think the higher ups in the NWA for the most part. Last week, Melina is saying that she wants a title shot, and it's a small. You probably think to yourself, Melina, how many matches has she had? 1 or 2? She wants a title shot, and she made that announcement last week, and NWA management or board of directors, how they described it, I forget how they put it, says no, that Melina hasn't wrestled enough. So we have follow-up to these little details that no, she's not getting a matchup, and this is why she's not getting a matchup. So it's that attention to detail which I like. They follow up on that. They explain why she's not. Sometimes no reason is given, or sometimes little details like that are not tied up in other wrestling organizations the week after. Some certain storylines, certain parts of a storyline, they're not always tied up. So I like what NWA is doing, and they're making sure that all their storylines are tied up. Like how they also realize that someone paying for everyone's ticket when you work under a organization and you're not the owner of the organization, that sometimes that's a stipulation that's a little silly, non-believable. So I like how they adjusted it, where now they're saying that Skrull will personally write a check for $500,000. Sounds more believable than everyone having their ticket possibly reimbursed. Sounds more believable to me. Also good, 2 things. I like that Strictly Business finally has gotten a win under their belt. Take them a little bit more credibly now. You could, or you're at least on the road there. People might be scared of Strictly Business now, where 9 times out of 10, in the most recent weeks, if I'm a fan and I'm listening to Strictly Business coming out, they're gonna lose, because besides all this, everyone else seems to be the weak link there. So they're on that road. Strictly Business actually won, which is good. And at the same regards too, I like how what NWA does with certain talents. I'm sure they realize, I'm sure they listen to some of the negative comments that go back and forth, let's say about, for example, Rock and Roll Express, about how old they are and they can't hang, they're going to get crushed, they're going to get creamed. Well, guess what? They lost today, but they lost because Royce Isaacs cheated. So you're still keeping their credibility, you're still keeping their believability on the board. And even with a loss, they're still looking as someone, if you suspend this belief, if you look at it, a team, even though they're old, up there in their 60s, a team that could still possibly win with the way they've been booked. So that's a good thing, making Rock and Roll Express still look credible. Those were just a couple of things that I took from NWA Powerrr. Again, not the greatest of episodes in my opinion this week. It just felt like it was there. But, it's progressed some storylines. Tim Storm with Imposter Mama Storm as well. That storyline is going on. May Valentine and that drama. Is there drama? There's no drama with Royce Isaacs. That storyline is continuing. It's just a lot of people that were dancing, quote unquote, with each other this week. It's a continuation of storyline, and kind of everything stayed level for the most part. Nothing out of the ordinary. So just some of my thoughts on NWA Powerrr. I hope all is well, guys, and I look forward to speaking to you guys very, very soon.